So today we'll try to understand bit more details about components that we have discussed yesterday. So what are the important components, guys? Three important components of Power BI Desktop.
Three components: the Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View.
Yeah. Power Query, Power Pivot, and
And Power View.
Power BI. Power BI. So Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View. So here Power Query helps us to extract the data from the source file. Extract and load the data from the source file to our Power BI desktop. Okay. And
The
whereas
Power
our
Query was used for a transformation of data, right? The
yes,
operation we have to find.
yes, I'll show you all those details today. So Power Query helps us to get the data from the source, first thing, and if you have any requirement to transform or to modify the data, then it allows you to transform the data, and finally it allows you to load into your Power Pivot table. So Power Pivot, whenever I say Power Pivot component, it is presented through a data view in Power BI Desktop. And actual Power View refers to the report view pane of our Power BI Desktop, where we can drag and drop all visuals and we can bind our data to create Power BI dashboards. Okay, these are the things that we discussed yesterday. And now we'll discuss bit more details about each component. Okay, see guys, what was the entry point to create a report here in Power BI? What is the entry point? Entry point to get the data from a source, and that source can be either an Excel file or a database. Okay, that was an entry point. So we can get the data through this get data option. So let me create a sample file right away,
Visible.
and we'll try to load the same.
Your screen is not visible.
Not visible.
No, no. You're not presenting.
Oh my, thank you guys. You might have told me earlier itself.
No, I didn't think you are presenting. So,
Yeah, thank you guys. Whenever you feel whenever you notice such things, just let me know immediately. There's nothing wrong in it, right? No, don't never hesitate anything big. I'm here to help you in all means, by all means. Okay. So now able to see my screen. Let me
yeah,
know,
it's
guys.
visible. It's
Okay.
visible.
Thank you. Okay. So the three important components that we have discussed are Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View. These three things. And now we'll see each component in detail. So what is the entry point, guys? For us,
The different source file. We are
so
get
correct.
data. Get
Yeah,
data.
getting a file,
Data.
getting a
File.
data, getting data from a source. So I'm
Source.
choosing get data option here, and I'll try to load the same garment shop related example. See here, I'm choosing get data option. See guys, you can either use get data option or straight away you can use this Excel book work option, and either you can use the icon which is available in your home screen this way, import data from Excel file. So this time I'll use this option. So I'm clicking here, import data from Excel. I'm clicking on this option, and let's see, it will open a same pop-up window to browse and select my source file. So guys, whenever whenever you're there in front of my session, like every evening, try to have a notebook available with you. So whatever things that you understand, please try to note it down, because at the end of the day, whatever things that you write down or list down with your own understanding, those are the things that are going to retain with you, not the everything that we are going to learn over sessions or over internet. Remember that. I'm selecting this file, guys. The same way, when I use get data option, it allows me this browse window, and here import data from Excel file, this option also allowed me to select this file. I'm selecting this. I'm simply selecting this file and opening. So how many entries were there, guys, in that file? Anyone remember? 27 orders were there, right? There were 27 orders. So now The next step, as soon as I select my source file, my Power BI desktop trying to connect to that particular source. Where it is residing? It is residing in some location like a D drive, Power BI training inside Day2 or someone Day2 folder. And what it's saying, please wait, I'm establishing a connection with your file. After that, it will open a navigator window where where we are allowed to select the imported file into desktop, into Power BI desktop. Okay, see here, I have selected garment shop file. Inside that, I'm having only one sheet of data, and it is showing navigator window showing me this is your file name and this is your sheet available inside this file. If you have multiple sheets, then this navigator window will be showing two sheets. Okay, I'm selecting that particular sheet one. Guys, closely follow. See here, I'm selecting this sheet. I'm just selecting the sheet. I'm not checking this checkbox. I'm not selecting this checkbox. I'm not ticking this checkbox. In general, in HTML terminology, we used to call this one as a checkbox, where we can check. Okay. So I'm selecting the sheet one, and sheet one presenting me 27 rows data, which is available in the garment shop file. As soon as I select, see here, guys, as these load and transform data, these two buttons are in disabled state, and I'm unable to perform any action or click action on these two buttons until I tick this checkbox. See here, as soon as I tick this checkbox, these two options will be made available to me. See here. Now notice the difference, guys. Earlier, these two buttons were in disabled state. I'm now unchecking this, and see again they got disabled. As soon as I select here, these are enabled. Guess clear? Notice this difference?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is navigator window, guys. Navigator window will simply show us, loads the file information and the sheets that are available inside the file, and it allows us to select respective sheets, and it also allows us to load them into Power BI desktop. If I choose load, see guys, what is the meaning? Load. If I choose load, what happens? This data will be loaded into my Power Pivot, which is nothing but data
Data view.
view.
Data view.
Data view, which is nothing but Power Pivot. See guys, as per our yesterday discussion, our data view contains imported data, and data view is related to what? Power Pivot component. A data view is our data view is our Power Pivot component, which stores our data, which maintains our data in Power BI desktop. Okay, this is about load option. Instead of load, if I choose transform data, what happens? Yesterday, I have shown
That is
you a
Power
window with the
Query.
name transform data. Here, using this option, I have clicked this transform data window option, where as soon as I clicked on this, I have opened with a window with the name Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. So this is one way of opening Power Query Editor, and while loading your data, if you need any transformations or modifications to be applied on the imported data, then you go for choosing transform data option. So guys, carefully observe what all are the things happening here. I have chosen get data option, and this Power BI desktop opened me this navigator window where it is allowing me to extract the data from the selected file. What is the first step? What is the first step, guys?
Import data.
This navigator window, as soon as I select get data option, I have opened with a navigator window, and navigator window allowing me to extract the data from the selected source. Clear, guys? Clear with my statement?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Power BI desktop opened a
Yes, sir.
navigator window, where this navigator window allowing us to extract the data which is available in sheet 1 of garment shop XLSX file. Navigator window allowing me to extract the data from the file to my Power BI desktop. This is extraction. After extraction, if you see or if you feel your data is fine to start working on the visuals, then you can straight away load your data into Power BI desktop, which in turn it will be saved inside Power Pivot component, which is called data view. Initial step is extraction. After that, if you do not see any changes to be made on your data, then you can simply select load option. Instead, after extracting data, if you feel I need some modifications to be done on the imported data, you go for selecting transform data. Guys, clear? I'm not clicking on transform or load right now, but I'm trying to make you people understand what all are the actions that we are allowed here with the navigator window. Navigator window allowing us to extract the data from the selected file into Power BI this way. It is presenting it, extracting data from sheet 1 and presenting here for our action. It is asking us, after extracting data to this window, navigator window, it is asking us what step that you want to perform. What is your next move? Either loading or transforming. Clear, guys?
Yeah, it's clear.
So
Yeah,
now,
Suman.
yeah. So now, thank you. So how many actions that are allowed here in the navigator window, guys? What are the key terms that we have discussed so far? Extraction, extraction, loading, and
Loading and
transforming.
transformation.
Extraction from the source, that is file to your Power Query navigator window. After that, if no modifications required, straight away go for loading. If modifications are required, go for transforming. Extraction, transformation, loading. Extraction is simply loading data from file to this navigator window. Second thing, if modifications are required, go for transforming data. If no transformations is required, then go for loading data directly. If transformation is required, then click on transform data. It will open a Power Query editor, do your modifications on the data, and then close and load data from the Power Query editor. Okay, so extract, transform, load, ETL. These three are called as ETL, collectively called as ETL, guys. These three actions are called as ETL: extract, transform, load. Remember this word; it is very important word. ETL. Okay, what are three actions involved? I mean, associated with ETL word, guys?
Extract, transform, load.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm clicking on transform data. So guys, do you need notes on this? If required, I can do that. 1 second. I'll quickly take a screenshot here. I'll close this. So guys, what is a visual? Guys, what is a visual?
A graphical representation of a data.
Graphical is not for data.
That's correct. Power BI service is part of Power BI architecture. True or false?
It's true.
Correct. Thank you. We have to publish Power BI reports and then we have to create reports. True or false?
Uh, you have to first create the report. False.
So my statement true or false? It is false.
True, sir.
On service, we cannot modify anything. On service, we cannot modify anything. On Power BI desktop only, we can do changes.
That is okay, but sequence I'm telling. First we have
It's
to publish.
false. First, you
First
have
we
to
have to
create,
publish. No, no.
then publish.
Yeah. So first action is with Power BI desktop, and then we have to
Power BI
go,
desktop.
and then we have to go for
Extraction, transformation.
extraction of data. So guys, there is noise coming from my end. Extraction of data selected from the selected source file. Okay. So nothing but this piece, this way. Okay. This way it extracts the data, and it will extract and presents the data to us saying whether your next action is load or transform. Okay, and then here load and transform are there. So I can choose either of the options based on my need. I can choose either of the options based on my need. You can go for loading data. You can go for choosing load option if no modifications are required. And what this next thing is, we can go for choosing transform data option if anything needs to be modified, anything in the data. Okay, so this is called as load, this is called as transform.
Yeah, transform.
Okay, clear guys?
It's clear.
Yeah.
Someone, if you do transform data, will it save the modified changes?
Yes, it will do. I'm saving this slide. It is day 3, right? What is suitable word, guys? ETL. Okay, ETL. Good. Now we have saved our slide. Okay, so now see guys, instead of loading, I am doing transform data. Let's see, I'm transforming data. I'm choosing transform data. As soon as you select transform data, you are opened with a window called Power Query Editor. You will be opened with a window called Power Query Editor. See here guys, Power Query Editor. Okay, what it will do, transform will open in
Power Query editor.
Power
Power
Query
Query.
Editor.
So I'll give a separate screenshot for this. So Power Query Editor will be opened this way with your data. So it opens Power Query editor along with our data, guys. Remember this. Okay. It opens a Power Query Editor window with the selected data. Select data from the selected source. Okay. Clear, guys, so far?
Yes, it's
And now see here. If I so what is actual transform? What is the general meaning of transform, guys?
Change
modification
to change,
this.
alter.
Okay. Modifying something from the same thing.
Changing
Modifying
from
something.
one form to another form.
Perfect. Same. So our data remains same. Data remains same in the sense we will do the transformation of our existing data so that once we perform transformation, it will move to some other state. Okay. Right now I'm having 5 columns here, and what is my type column, guys? What is my type column? Type column defines what category the sold product belongs to. Okay. So here I can do transformation. I'll show you a simple transformation, guys. Something like changing the casing of the text like that. Okay. Right now, I just wanted to, our main agenda to learn is, our main agenda is to understand what is Power Query Editor and how it can be opened. Okay, so yes, anyone in the lobby? No one, right? Okay, allowed. Okay, okay. So what we will do here, I'll select this one. I'll simply split the data, split out, split the data by delimiter. So I'm selecting split option. I have opened with a window. Here delimiter, in the sense your data in that column is separated by which particular character. That means delimiter. Delimiter nothing but the data in your column is separated by which particular character. So hyphen is the character separating my day, month, year in my date column. I have chosen this. As soon as I click on OK, my date column splitted into 3 other columns: date 1, date 2, date 3. Whereas date 1 containing day, date 2 containing month, date 3 containing year. Okay. So if I feel okay, I did require transformation, we have to simply go to the home and close and apply. So what it will do, transformation is completed, and as soon as you select close and apply, what it will think, okay, transformation is completed, then data will be loaded directly. Data will be loaded directly into which component, guys? Power Pivot component.
Data will.
Power BI desktop.
Power Pivot component. Yes, Power BI desktop is a whole thing as a whole, but to be specific, Power Pivot is a actual component which is going to hold your loaded data. Remember that. Okay. I'm clicking on close and apply. So as soon as select that, see here, will be opened with a window saying like loading. Hold for it while. Yeah, load option came. What it's saying is creating connection in model. See here, carefully observe the messages that is presenting in the pop-up windows. Load is the operation which is happening. Extraction is completed. Extraction is completed from the file to navigator window. From the navigator window, we went to transform option. Through Power Query Editor, we will be able to modify the data, and after that, as soon as we close and apply our changes, it is loading into Power Pivot component. What it's saying, load is completed. 27 rows are loaded. And see guys, right side data section is getting modified here. It is loading something. Notice here, some processing is happening. What is happening, guys? Whatever data is loaded into Power Pivot, from the Power Pivot and from the data model, it is reading and understanding what all are the fields and columns that came through importing sheet 1 of your source file, and those column information, it is collected and getting shown here to be used as part of our visualizations. Clear, guys?
Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me, Suman. Can you please allow me? I'm trying to join from a different device.
Allowed, yeah, allowed. Now check once.
Yeah, thank you.
So clear, guys? Earlier what we used to do, we simply used to select load button, extraction and load. No transformation was required earlier, but if transformation is required, then we can use transform data option here, and this transform data option will take us to Power Query Editor window. There you can modify or transform your data, and you can choose on close and apply. So as soon as you click on close and apply, as soon as you click on close and apply, what it will do, guys?
It will load the
Will load the
changes.
transform data into the Power BI
Perfect. Load the
component.
transformed
Power Pivot component.
data into Power Pivot component.
Power pivot.
Component.
Remember this statement. Which color is good? No. Okay. Load transform data into Power Pivot component. Okay. Now, So now go to your data view. How many columns I was having earlier, guys, in my Excel file? Can anyone tell me?
5, sir.
Five.
5.
5.
So after that, what I did some transformation. I have splitted my date column into 3 different components, like date separately, month separately, and year as a separate column. So here I'm seeing 3 different dates: date 1, date 2, date 3. And rest of 4 columns, order number, product, total amount, type remains same. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
I'm going to data view component, which is a Power Pivot component. Here you will be able to see all the transformed and loaded data. See here, transformed and loaded data. You are seeing additional columns here: date 1, date 2, date 3. But whereas your actual file containing only 5 columns, but the data which is loaded into my Power Pivot component, that is data view, is with 7 columns. Is with the 7 columns. Okay. Case clear?
Sir, one,
Yeah.
sir, one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Date one, sir, you have to the month. Date is a one date, sir.
Hmm.
Date 2 is a month, sir.
Hmm.
Date 3 is a year, sir.
Yes.
మరి మీరు డే 1, డే 2, డే 3 అని సార్ నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు.
Huh. So
మంత్
it
లెక్క
is, yeah,
మంత్ ఇయర్ అవ్వాలి కదా సార్.
yes, we can do that, but we haven't worked on those column names. If you see, go to the transform data option again using that menu item. It will load our data this fashion, and here see, you can change column names as well. See, you give month. By default, Power BI desktop given those names after performing or after applying some transformation function. So here I can give name as day, and here for date 3 I can double click and I click on, I'll give name as year, and I'll go for close and apply again, which will load the transform data back to my data view. It takes some time. It will update my data view with the modified columns from the transformation window, which is from Power Query editor.
ఓకే సార్.
Wait and see. It will refresh the updated data. See, now you're able to see day, year, product. Clear?
డే ఇస్ ద 13, సార్.
Sorry, I might have given incorrectly, but you know the point, right? We were able to modify the column name to the desired ones, like the way we wanted to. Okay?
ఓకే సార్.
If you want to do further transformation, go to, again, at any point of time, whatever sheet that you select here, select the sheet. So whatever way that we are seeing data in the data view window, sheet 1, all the columns, the same sheet you select, go and use transform data option. At any point of time, you can open that Power Query editor window, and there you can modify your data, and you can apply whatever transformation that you wanted to do at any point. It's saying column name conflict. It is, we are already having a column with the name day here, right? For now, I'll say day 1 here, and I'll come here, I'll modify this as month, and here I'll come back here, I'll remove this one, day, month, year. Okay, clear, guys? And as soon as I feel like I'm done with the transformation, I can go on close apply option. Okay,
ఓకే సార్.
it will load data back to my Power Pivot component, which is data view. Okay, done. So what I'll do, I'll open transform window one more time. I'll update this slide here in the PowerPoint, sorry, in the Paint window, so that you'll come to know what we did. We have splitted our data. We have splitted our data into, we have splitted our date column data into 3 different columns. So this way, we did transform, we have applied transformation. What is the thing that we have applied here? Single date column is transformed into
3 columns.
3 columns. Transformed date column values into 3 different columns. Okay. And here I'll just select this date column value for your reference this way. Okay. Transformation is completed. As soon as the transformation is completed, what's the next step, guys? Data loaded into your Power Pivot component.
Click and apply.
Close and apply. Your data will be loaded into Power Pivot component.
Power pivot.
It takes some time to refresh here. If you do not do any changes, then I think you can straight away, we are good to proceed further. So this is close and apply here. What it will do, guys? Close and apply.
It will refresh the
Load the transform data into the pivot component.
Loads the transformed data to Power Pivot
pivot
component, which that is data view. So, and what are the other options, guys? What are other steps? Power Pivot component, that is data view, and columns information under
under data section.
data section will be updated with the transformed data. Okay. Okay. So there's someone in the lobby. Okay. Clear? So far clear, guys?
Yeah, it's clear.
So at any point of time, we can use transform data option, which is available here. At any point of time, we can use this. So guys, please mute yourself if you are not having any queries, because session is being recorded, right? Thank you. So at any point of time, if you see any changes to be done on your data, then you can choose this transform data option, guys. Okay, remember this. At any point of time, we can use this option to transform data. This image might be a bit lengthy one, guys, but it is containing good information. So at any point of time, we can use this particular feature to transform your data. What it will do, guys? At any point of time,
You can do modifications.
use this option to transform our data. So this opens what, guys? Opens our data in a Power Query editor window. Okay, remember this word, Power Query editor window, very important word. Okay, good. See, guys, under Power transform data option, there is one more option that we are seeing, data source settings. So data source settings is an option where it will show from which file you have loaded your data. I'm selecting this data source settings. Let's see, it opens me a window. What it's showing, guys? First option is data sources in the current file, which is selected here. Data sources in the current file. In the current Power BI file, what is the data source? What is saying? From the D drive, from the Power BI folder, inside that there is a folder with the name Day1. Inside that there is a file with the name Garment Shop XLSX. Using this file, this current data is loaded. Guys, clear?
Again, show where you have accessed this setting.
So it is right below our transform option. See here, data source setting. This
Oh, okay.
is right below your transform data option. Now tell me, guys, what it is doing? It allows us to see from which file you have loaded data. So if you forget, like if you have multiple files with you
Path,
in the
right?
system, yes, the source path file it is showing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it shows you the source path file. What it will tell us? We can know
The source path
from
file, which
source file
is
we
the
have
data being accessed.
loaded our data. Okay. So guys, so far what we have seen, three things we have seen. First thing, extraction, transformation, loading.
Loading.
So now with this understanding, tell me, for extraction, what we used? Extraction operation carried out through
Get data.
what steps, guys?
Get data.
Get data.
Get data.
After that, navigator
Selecting
window.
the
Navigated window.
format.
Navigator
Select
window and choosing sheet.
Load or
Sheet.
load or
Choosing
transform.
option,
No, choosing
Data
the
sheet.
sheet, right? As soon as you
load under transformer.
no, so this is extraction. Get data option. Get data. After that, you have opened with the navigator window and choosing a data sheet.
Data sheet.
See here, as soon as you select a data sheet, then only the data from your file is extracted and shown in the navigator window. Right? Extraction data from the selected source file. This way. This is extraction. After that, what is transform, guys?
Load or transform.
Loader transform are the options available, but what we did,
transforming is
Data, sir.
so
modifying the
Modify.
already present source file.
choosing transform option either from which one?
Modify or load, sir.
Either from navigator or in through the data
Navigator window or
or through your
through
toolbar.
transform data option available in the Power BI desktop ribbon. What is ribbon, guys? This piece, this entire piece is called as ribbon. Or what I'll do, I'll just highlight this piece here because we already have this one, right? A separate screenshot is not required. Here. Yes, I'm just mapping this here, this way, because we have already having that option available in the screenshot, right? then why to go for taking a separate screenshot? That was my intention. Clear, guys? Able to understand what I am doing here?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
Yes, Suman.
This is transform. Either choosing transform option in the navigator window itself, or let it let navigator window load your data without doing any transformation, and from the ribbon you can select transform data option, and this transform data option will open your current loaded data into Power Query editor for the transformation. Okay. And load option, at what time we load data, guys? What are the places?
After selecting the sheet, we can load
So two ways
in the
again,
navigation.
either from navigator window directly, or from, tell me guys, we have seen this one multiple times today. Now tell me, either from the navigator window, I mean to say either from load option in the navigator window as soon as you selected source file, or by choosing
The sheets from
close and
the
apply, yeah, option in the Power Query editor. Close and apply option. See here, guys, I've told you, right? As soon as
Have
you
a
choose this close and
bigger
apply,
file large.
it loads the transformed data into your Power Query component, which is data view. Clear? I have told you, right? See guys, either you can choose load
yes,
directly
it's
from the
clear.
navigator window, or you can do your modification or transformation on your data and choose close and apply. What all are these operations constructed to, guys? ETL. What does it mean?
Extraction,
Extraction,
transformation, load.
extraction text, load.
Transformation, load.
Extract, transform, load.
Extract,
Transform
transformation,
and load.
load.
And load. Extract, transform, and load. Remember this word, guys. It is very important. Oh, yes, there is a bug with the keyboard or what? Or there is a bug with this paint itself in Windows 11. Should no. Okay. All right. ETL.
Suman, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So while choosing the when we choose the file and the file has huge data, I am seeing sometimes it's crashing. Before I choose the option transform load or apply, before I choose transform data, the file is getting crashed because of heavy data in that file. So how can we handle in such cases?
So if you have lots of data, let's suppose Power Pivot component is allowed to handle 10 GB of data. There is a limitation with the Power Pivot component. So Power Pivot component, yeah. So Power Pivot,
Irrespective of the number of rows and columns, columns, right? Number of
so
columns.
so even though if your data is having, like, if you are having your source file with too many rows or columns, the Power Query editor will try to show you only top 1000 rows from your file. It won't show all the data. It will show you only top 1000 rows always, so that you can apply transformation and see on those top 1000 rows. It is a confirmation for you, okay, saying okay, whatever transformation I have applied, that is applied properly for these top 1000 rows, and your assumption is the same transformation applied to the rest of the rows which are not shown to you by the Power Query window, Power Query editor. Okay, I think check your RAM once, and our Power BI desktop will run bit slow when compared to other softwares while loading data. Check with your RAM, and also make sure you do not have any heavy programs like Chrome browser or any background processes like virus scans programs are not running while loading that file. And as soon as you select that file and you try to select the sheet in the navigator window to transform the data, that time you select your task manager, system task manager, and you see which particular program taking the more memory, consuming the more memory. And if it is not related to Power BI, kill that particular process there itself, so that sufficient memory and enough processor time is allowed to your Power BI processor to handle your file data. Try this one and let me know if you're still failing. We will see it over
Okay.
separate session. You got my point, right? What are the things that are
Yeah,
affecting?
I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, can you once repeat the transform data, the delimiter option in the transform data? I've been trying, but it's not working for me for some reason. I might be doing a mistake.
Okay. Go to transform data, choose this transform window, and here Power Query Editor is really having power, guys. See, you transform this data and you don't want this transformation to be applied. You can simply go to the right side steps, applied steps. It is logging every single action I'm doing here. What is first action? Source. See here, what is the first action? As soon as I select source, what is showing? You have loaded your data using this file. It is showing me, it is telling me you have loaded your data using this file. And after that, I'm selecting navigation. As soon as I select navigation, it is telling me your data was in this format in the navigator window. After that, your headers are promoted. So earlier in the navigation window, it was treating this particular thing is not my data header. It is treating column 1, column 2, column 3. It has given names this way. And after that, internally, automatically, it has promoted my header as a columns. After that, change the type. It is saying some action like respective types got applied, like total amount column is numeric, so numeric formatting applied here. If type is text, then type text related styling is applied here. This way, types are changed. After that, splitting column by delimiter. As soon as I select this step, my data got splitted here, because whatever actions that I have performed during transformation on my data, every single action will be logged here. So now, if you don't see, even renaming column steps also is see at this point, what was your column names, guys? Date 1, date 2, date 3. And after renaming at this step, what are your column names? Day, month, year. Following, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'll do, I'll remove or clear my steps. Rename steps I'll remove. So it is like undo, guys. Control Z we do, right? Like that. I'm doing change type also. I'm removing split column action also. Now I have retained my data, source data as is. Clear? You can remove those steps. And after that, I'm going to date option. I'm going to transform, and I'm choosing split column option,
Split column,
and
delimiter.
by delimiter I'm saying. In my data, I know hyphen is the separator, hyphen is the delimiter. So here I have given hyphen. I have chosen OK. That's all. It got split. Okay, I'm changing.
I have a similar data like that, but when I'm doing the hyphen option, for some reason it's creating a
Let's
null
see.
column.
At the end of the session, we'll connect. At the end of the session, you share your screen and we will check that
Oh,
one.
okay.
So clear, guys? With these three actions, extract, transform, load.
Suman, can you please help me understand the query settings? Means I understood the steps, but how to identify that I missed.
Okay, I'm opening transform data option again.
Okay.
So as soon as I select transform data option, it opens me Power Query Editor with my data. So here under query settings, we'll be having which particular sheet of data is getting modified and what all are the steps that are applied. These are user defined steps as well as the platform like Power BI desktop applied steps as well. The first step is user defined. User defined in the sense user has selected that file to load into Power BI desktop using get data option. So that action is also logged here. The source from where this data is coming from. We have loaded this data from this file. We have chosen this file through get data option. Clear with this step?
My query was this query settings will automatically display it. We manually cannot select.
So if
this query settings is there,
if this gets disappeared, you go to view option here, go to this view option here, you can have the query settings here this way. As soon as you select this query settings, it will be displayed. This was your query.
Next to add column, is it on the top?
Here,
Yeah.
view
Okay.
option, view menu.
Okay.
In the Power Query editor, view menu, and the
Huh.
leftmost option is query settings.
Okay. Okay. That was my question. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Guys, clear with extract, transform, and load? Guys, clear with this extract, transform, and load?
Yes, Suman.
Yes, Suman.
Now tell me, extract and transform and load in these three places, which thing playing role? Power Query,
Have
Power
the
Pivot, or Power View?
Power pivot.
No.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Extract, transform, and load. These three actions we have seen with the Power BI desktop. So these three are related to, these
power
three are handled by which
power
particular
query.
component of Power BI desktop?
Power query.
Power query.
Only Power
Query,
Query.
query.
Only Power Query. Right. Through Power Query, we have extracted data and we were able to transform our data using Power Query editor, and finally done. Once we save and close, then it will be loaded into Power Pivot. So Power Query is the initial point for us to load data from a source and transform data, to extract, transform, and load the data into Power Pivot.
Power pivot.
Okay, all actions are by Power Query only. So Power Query is responsible for ETL activities. Clear, guys?
Is it? Yes, sir.
ETL activities. Okay, good. As soon as data loaded, then which particular component will come into picture, guys?
Yeah, power pivot.
Power
Basically,
pivot.
the place where your
So
data gets
Power
stored.
Query will load data into Power Pivot component, that is our data view.
Data view.
So what all are the features that are involved with Power Query, guys, in the Power BI desktop? The features which are associated with Power Query,
ETL, sir. Actually.
ETL are activities, but the features, options I am saying.
Oh.
Using data of Power Pivot, which is data view, we can build reports using Power.
Power view.
Okay. So first step is Power Query to Power Pivot, and from Power Pivot to Power View. Okay. Remember these things. Power Query to Power Pivot component, and from Power Pivot component to your Power View. So this way actions are interlinked. Okay, our data will flow this way. And now tell me, what all are the features of Power BI desktop that are associated with Power Query? It's simple, guys. What are the options that we have used? Get data is Power Query option, and navigator window is purely Power Query feature, and these two buttons, load and transform data, are Power Query options only. And as either we can load and transform data, as if you choose transform data, Power Query editor is also component of our Power Query. Okay, clear, guys? Any queries around
Yes,
this?
sir. No, sir.
No, right? Okay. So my expectation from you people after completing this session is you are good in understanding how data is getting flown or imported into Power BI desktop through different components. Clear, guys? Is my expectation true?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
It's clear.
Clear.
Okay, good. So now we know what all are the components that are involved in the background when we try to import a source to Power BI to create visuals. And we already know once the data is available, once the data is made available in the data view, what happens? A data section will be updated with the respective columns from your data, and those columns data can be used along with your visuals to create your business metrics or your Power BI reports for your business. So in the first example, in the first day, we have seen directly importing the data and using that data to create few visuals which gives few insights about your business. Today we have a clear picture how data is being loaded into Power BI, what component is getting involved at what stage, and what that particular component allowing us to modify or perform any action. Okay. Now tell me guys, now tell me the sequence. As soon as I import the data, which components will come into picture at what stage at high level? Tell me. As soon as I get my source, Power Query will come into picture. As soon as I load my data, Power Pivot will come into
Power
picture.
Pivot.
As soon as I
And if you
start building,
Power Bridge, sir.
Power View will be there to build my reports. Remember this. Clear guys? Let me
yes,
know
sir.
if
Yes,
anyone
sir.
having any
Yes,
question
Suman.
on all this. If no query, we can conclude our session. And someone having a doubt, right? Like
Sir, I got it. It was an error from my part.
from your side.
I,
Okay,
yeah, I got it.
fine, good. Thank you guys. Then meet you tomorrow. Guys, please
Okay,
make
thank you.
sure like you are there in the meeting by 5:55, so that I'll be focusing on this training session instead of allowing everyone. But that doesn't mean that you cannot join late, but it's a request. Just make sure you will be there in the meeting invite by 5:55 p.m. Thank you all. Meet you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Suman.